You see, the problem isn't that the universe isn't listening. The problem is, you've forgotten how in the beginning of all creation, before form, before light, before motion, there was the word. It is not a poetic metaphor, but a spiritual law woven into the very essence of existence. Every word you speak becomes a decree upon the invisible. The unseen does not judge or interpret your intention. It receives your word as truth and brings it into form. This is the invisible law of words. The universe itself is built to obey sound, vibration, and command. When you speak, you do not merely release air from your lungs. You release creation into motion. Words are seeds that carry the pattern of your destiny. They take root in the invisible soil of the universe and bloom in the garden of your experience. Each word has a frequency, a tone, and a vibration that cannot be recalled once spoken. When you utter anything with conviction, you are programming the spiritual fabric around you to respond. The universe does not interpret sarcasm, doubt, or self-pity. It only obeys vibration. So when you say, can't, it becomes law. When you say, I am, it becomes law. This is why life seems to echo what you continuously affirm. It mirrors the sound you keep sending forth. The invisible is not distant. It is responsive, immediate, and obedient to command. Every spoken word is an act of creation or destruction, blessing or bondage, light or shadow. People often speak casually, unaware that their words hold the same creative force as divine decree. They complain about lack, then wonder why abundance hides. They declare fear, then question why peace avoids them. The truth is simple: you are always prophesying your own life. The invisible realm listens not to your hopes, but to your declarations. It does not measure your intention, but your vibration. You may dream of success, but if your speech carries doubt, the law obeys doubt. You may pray for healing, but if your words rehearse your pain, the law multiplies pain. This invisible law is impartial. It has no moral preference. It will bring forth what you call, whether it uplifts you or destroys you. Like fire, it can warm or consume. The moment a word leaves your lips with emotional charge, it is sealed in divine motion, and every repetition strengthens it. The spoken word gathers energy each time you give it breath, until it crystallizes into reality. The universe operates with perfect obedience. It cannot defy your dominant command. If you have declared defeat for years, it will manifest defeat, because that is the vibration you continually authorize. There is a sacred difference between idle speech and the word spoken with faith. The latter carries authority. When spoken with unwavering conviction, it becomes law in the spiritual dimension, which eventually appears in the physical. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is certainty that what you have spoken is already accomplished in the unseen. That certainty gives your words substance. Without it, words are hollow. The invisible law responds to conviction, not repetition. Many people affirm what they do not yet believe of, and therefore their words are powerless. The law of words requires belief to give them weight. Every great manifestation begins with a spoken decree that aligns with divine order. You must speak as one who commands, not as one who pleads. Pleading affirms separation from what you seek. Commanding affirms oneness with it. The universe recognizes authority because it was created to serve it. You are a vessel of that authority. Your voice was designed to rule over form. But this law requires purity of speech. When you speak contradictions, you confuse the vibration, saying, I am powerful, today, and I am lost. Tomorrow sends mixed signals to the law that governs manifestation. The universe mirrors consistency, not confusion. To master this invisible law, you must become a guardian of your tongue. Every idle word has consequence. Every complaint has energy. Observe what leaves your mouth each day. Are your words creating what you desire? Or are they perpetuating what you fear? The difference between blessing and burden lies in the tone you speak. The invisible realm is like a mirror. It reflects without emotion. It simply returns to you the image of your command. Imagine a sculptor shaping marble. Each word you speak is a stroke upon the stone of your reality. With time, those strokes form the figure of your experience. If you speak limitation, you sculpt a small life. If you speak faith, you sculpt greatness. Nothing in the outer world can resist the authority of the spoken word that is backed by faith. The invisible must conform. This is why in moments of despair, the most powerful act is not to weep or to wish, but to speak light into darkness. Even silence carries vibration, but spoken sound amplifies creation. When you declare, "I am strong," even in weakness, you are summoning strength from the unseen. The law must obey, because it does not understand contradiction, it only fulfills command. You are the living echo of your past words. Every condition, every circumstance, is a harvest from seeds once spoken. The good news is that new words can sow new fields. You can rewrite the pattern of your life by changing the vibration of your speech. The invisible law does not hold grudges. It simply obeys the latest order. To understand the invisible law of words is to awaken your creative authority. Once you realize that your speech carries divine weight, you will no longer speak carelessly. You will treat every declaration as sacred. You will know that each word is a tool, a key, a decree. When you align your words with faith and purpose, the invisible realm becomes your servant. The law does not delay, it aligns. It waits for you to speak clearly, decisively, and faithfully. And once you do, it begins to move all things according to your spoken command. There is a divine rhythm that governs the unfolding of every dream, every creation, and every answered prayer. It is the rhythm of alignment, the sacred union between thought, word, and feeling. Alignment is not struggle, nor is it force. It is the silent moment when what you think, what you say, and what you feel become one vibration. In that oneness, the universe recognizes clarity and moves with precision to fulfill it. The law of life is mathematical, not emotional. It does not respond to scattered energy or conflicting desires. It responds only to harmony. When your inner world agrees with itself, the outer world must mirror that agreement. Most people pray for one thing while thinking another, and feeling something entirely different. They speak prosperity, yet feel unworthy. They declare love, yet harbor resentment. They affirm health, yet identify with sickness. This inner contradiction fractures the vibration, scattering power across confusion. The universe cannot obey mixed signals. It stands still until the vibration becomes clear. This is why some prayers remain unanswered. Not because they are ignored, but because they are disordered. Alignment is the bridge that carries thought into form. Without it, words remain sound without substance. To align is to bring your inner temple into harmony. The mind must think it, the tongue must speak it, and the heart must feel it as already done. These three, thought, word, and feeling, are the sacred trinity of creation. Thought gives vision, word gives command, and feeling gives life. When one is missing, creation is incomplete. The invisible realm waits until all three are united before manifestation can occur. When you reach that unity, you become unstoppable, for the law of divine correspondence begins to operate without interference. When you think of something you desire, your thought creates an image in the unseen. That image is potential energy. When you speak it, you give it direction and authority. But it is the feeling that animates it. It breathes life into your declaration. Without emotion, your words are empty echoes. Without clarity of thought, your feeling is scattered desire. But when all three harmonize, you become a vessel through which divine intelligence creates. The power of alignment lies in its purity. It is free from contradiction. Many wonder why affirmations or prayers do not work, even after constant repetition. The answer is always alignment. You may repeat, "I am abundant," 1,000 times, but if you secretly feel fear when bills arrive, you cancel the command. You may declare, "I am loved." Yet if you harbor unworthiness, the vibration of love cannot enter. Words spoken without emotional agreement remain powerless. The universe requires the signature of your belief to activate the law. When belief and word align, the universe moves instantly. To live in alignment is to live in flow with divine order. It means no longer battling circumstances or forcing outcomes. It means recognizing that everything external is a reflection of your internal arrangement. If you are at war within yourself, if your reality will mirror conflict, if you are at peace, your world will soften to match. The moment you say, "It is done," and believe it with your entire being, you release resistance. That release opens the path for manifestation to arrive naturally. Alignment is not achieved through effort, but through surrender. It requires stillness and awareness. You must quiet the noise of fear and listen for the frequency of truth. Truth is calm, it never struggles. Once you find that inner stillness, your words regain their creative strength. You no longer need to chase or persuade the universe, you simply align with it. The law is magnetic. It draws to you what matches your vibration. When your vibration says, "I already have it," the universe echoes back, "So it is." To master alignment, one must practice coherence. Coherence is when your thoughts do not contradict your faith, when your emotions support your declarations, and when your words no longer betray your intentions. Speak only what you wish to multiply. Think only what you wish to live. Feel only what you wish to attract. This is not denial. It is deliberate creation. You are shaping energy into form through focused agreement. Every moment you spend in doubt delays the manifestation. Every moment you spend in faith accelerates it. The true secret of power lies not in doing, but in becoming. When your inner world becomes the reality you wish to experience, the outer world adjusts to match it. That is alignment in action. The law does not respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. The feeling of already having is the highest form of prayer. When you feel as though it is already yours, you collapse the distance between desire and possession. The universe does not question your readiness. It reads your vibration as truth. You must remember that words alone are not enough. The universe listens to your energy more than your language. You cannot speak abundance while vibrating fear and expect divine order to obey. You cannot speak healing while feeling broken and expect health to flourish. The universe follows your inner conviction. When you finally declare something with your whole being, without doubt, without fear, without contradiction, the law moves swiftly. It rearranges people, time, and circumstance to fulfill your inner decree. In alignment, there is no tension, no waiting, no chasing. There is only knowing. You speak, you feel, you believe, and then you allow. The invisible begins to gather elements required for the visible. What once seemed far away begins to appear in perfect sequence. Coincidences become confirmations, and what you once called miracles become ordinary, because they follow divine mathematics. The power of alignment is not in the words themselves, but in the harmony behind them, when the mind, heart, and voice sing the same melody. The universe cannot help but dance to its rhythm. There are moments in life when you feel the stillness before transformation, a quiet space where the old dissolves and the new waits to enter. In that space, 3 words hold the power to open the door of creation. They are simple, yet divine. I am ready. These words are not just a statement, they are a vibration, a key that unlocks the gates between your desire and its manifestation. When you speak them, you are not announcing to the universe what you want. You are declaring that you have become the vessel capable of receiving it. Readiness is the bridge between dream and realization, between potential and possession. Most people believe readiness is about preparation, about doing more, waiting longer, or proving themselves worthy. But true readiness is not about effort. It is about alignment and surrender. You are not preparing to receive what is yours. You are allowing it to arrive. When you say, "I am ready," you dissolve resistance. You signal to the universe that there is no longer conflict within you. The gates of fear, doubt, and hesitation close, and faith takes their place. The moment you are truly ready, the entire cosmos rearranges itself to meet you where you stand. The universe cannot deliver blessings to the unready mind. A person may pray for abundance, yet secretly fear responsibility. They may ask for love, yet resist vulnerability. They may desire freedom, yet cling to control. Readiness is not about what you say you want. It is about what your spirit is willing to hold. When you speak, "I am ready," you are declaring that your mind, heart, and energy are open, that you no longer hide behind excuses or timing. Are saying to life, "I trust divine order more than my own plan." This is the language the universe understands. Readiness is an act of faith. It means you no longer need proof before you believe. You no longer need signs to trust. You no longer wait for permission to receive. The declaration, "I am ready," is a covenant between you and the unseen. It tells the divine intelligence that you have released all resistance. In that instant, what was delayed begins to flow. The unseen forces that seem distant begin to move in your favor. You become magnetic, not because you chase, but because you have entered the vibration of allowance. When you say, I am Radwai, something within you shifts. The anxious energy of waiting transforms into the calm authority of knowing. You stop reaching outward and start expanding inward. You become the frequency of your desire, and therefore it must find you. The universe cannot deny resonance, it must obey it. Every time you affirm readiness, you align yourself with divine timing. You stop forcing things to happen, and instead allow them to unfold in perfect rhythm. What once seemed delayed was never denial. It was preparation for your readiness. Many people live in a state of asking, but never receiving, because their words and their readiness do not match. They pray for change while still identifying with the old. They ask for a new path, but carry the same fears. They declare faith, but practice worry. The universe listens beyond words. It reads vibration. To say, I am Radwai, with power, your entire being must agree. You must release the old story, the old pain, the old version of yourself that no longer serves the future you call forth. Readiness requires emptiness. Only the open hand can receive. When you declare these words, say them with your whole being. Let them come from your center, not your lips. Feel them in your heartbeat, in your breath, in your spirit. I am Radwai is not a whisper of hope. It is a command of certainty. It carries the energy of divine acceptance. It is not pleading, it is surrender. You are not asking the universe to give. You are allowing it to deliver what it already holds for you. The unseen does not move by wish. It moves by readiness. In those 3 words lies an entire philosophy of power. I is identity. The acknowledgement that you are a conscious creator, not a victim of circumstance. AM is existence, the present affirmation that the power to create is active within you right now, not in some future moment. Radwai is surrender, the opening of your energy field to receive without resistance. Together, they form the perfect command that activates divine law. The universe does not delay once you are truly ready, because delay only exists in the mind that doubts. Every great transformation begins with readiness. Nothing can enter your life until you are prepared to hold it. A blessing too soon becomes a burden. That is why divine timing never fails. It waits not on chance, but on your readiness. When you finally say, I am Radwai, and mean it, everything that once felt distant begins to approach with speed and precision. Opportunities that seemed lost reappear. People who were meant to guide you suddenly show up. Doors you once knocked on begin to open, not through force, but through harmony. Readiness also demands courage. To say, I am Radwai, is to let go of control and trust that the universe knows the way better than you do. It means releasing the need to understand how or when. It means standing still in faith, even when nothing around you confirms it. This is the posture of divine power, the stillness that moves mountains. When you are ready, you no longer chase, you attract. You no longer doubt, you declare. You no longer ask, you allow. Those 3 words are the sound of creation accepting itself. They are the signal that you have stepped out of resistance and into alignment. Every delay, every lesson, every challenge was never meant to break you. It was preparing you to be ready. Because once readiness exists, manifestation is inevitable. The universe does not question or hesitate. It obeys the vibration of certainty. And the vibration of readiness is the purest form of certainty there is. There is a sacred point where belief transforms from idea to force, where thought ceases to be theory and becomes movement within the unseen. This is the law of faith in action, the divine principle that governs every manifestation in the universe. Faith is not a gentle wish or a hopeful prayer. It is a vibration of certainty that commands creation to take form. The invisible law responds not to hope, not to fear, but to conviction. Once a soul speaks with unwavering faith, the universe has no choice but to obey. Faith is the bridge between the spiritual and the material, the unseen and the seen. At the dream and its fulfillment, when you declare something with faith, you are not asking, you are acknowledging that it already exists in the invisible. You are summoning it from potential into presence. To operate under the law of faith in action, you must release the idea that seeing is believing. The law moves in reverse, believing is seeing. You must know before it appears. Speak before it is visible. Act before it is proven. If the universe is a mirror, it reflects the strength of your conviction. If your faith wavers, the reflection becomes unclear. If your faith is steady, the reflection solidifies into reality. Faith is not blind, it is vision before sight. It is the ability to hold the image of your desire with such strength that the outer world begins to bend around it. The moment you affirm something as truth, even if the evidence denies it, you activate spiritual law. The unseen begins to rearrange itself according to your command. But this law requires consistency. You cannot declare power in the morning and doubt in the evening. You cannot pray for abundance and then speak lack. Every word that contradicts your faith becomes a counter-command, slowing the law in its motion. When faith is in action, you begin to walk differently. You no longer wait for conditions to be perfect. You move as though they already are. You no longer postpone your peace until circumstances align. You claim peace now and watch circumstances follow. This is not arrogance, it is divine order. The universe obeys those who speak from authority, and authority is born from faith. The one who knows does not chase, does not question, does not plead. They move with quiet certainty, and the world shifts around them. The law of faith in action does not respond to emotion, it responds to energy. You may cry, you may fear, you may falter, but if at your core you believe, creation continues to move. Every moment you maintain faith in the unseen, you strengthen the current of manifestation. Every time you choose trust over worry, the invisible structure of your desire grows stronger. The universe never fails to deliver where faith remains unbroken. What appears delayed is not denial. It is alignment catching up to your conviction. To live by faith is to live beyond sight. It means you stop waiting for proof and become the proof. You begin to act as if what you desire is already accomplished. You walk with the vibration of fulfillment. You speak as one who already possesses the promise. This is the essence of divine manifestation, to embody before it arrives. Faith is not passive. It is an active command. It requires the courage to act when logic hesitates, to give thanks for what is not yet visible, and to stand tall in the unseen knowing that it must appear. Faith in action requires you to release fear completely. Fear is faith in the wrong direction. It believes more in failure than in divine order. Every time you give energy to fear, you delay what is yours. Faith and fear cannot coexist in the same vibration. One must dominate the other. When faith reigns, even the impossible begins to obey. Mountains move, not because they are pushed, but because they recognize the vibration of certainty. When you walk by faith, the universe walks beside you. You must understand that divine timing does not test your patience. It tests your persistence in faith. The law never fails. It simply waits until your vibration becomes stable. If you believe for a moment and doubt the next, the law pauses, reflecting your inconsistency. But when you maintain faith long enough for the unseen to solidify, the manifestation appears naturally. It arrives not through effort, but through energetic alignment. The universe never breaks its promise. It fulfills it according to your endurance of belief. Faith is a living substance. It grows stronger with every affirmation, every declaration, every act of trust. To cultivate it, you must feed it with word, thought, and emotion that match your desire. Speak life into what you want, imagine it as already yours, and feel the joy of its reality. These three actions are the ingredients of faith in motion. They transform spiritual potential into physical experience. The universe cannot resist a heart that believes with total certainty. When you stand in faith, you stop asking if it will happen. You start declaring that it already has. You begin to thank the universe before receiving, to bless the path before walking it, to celebrate the answer before it arrives. Gratitude becomes your proof of belief. Every word of gratitude is a confirmation to the unseen that you trust the law. The universe responds by multiplying what you have thanked it for. Faith calls the invisible visible. Gratitude seals it into form. The law of faith in action is the highest form of mastery because it requires surrender. You must release control of the how, when, and where, trusting that divine intelligence knows far more than your limited understanding. Faith says, "I have spoken it, and so it is." It does not argue with appearances or become shaken by delay. It remains calm in uncertainty, because it knows that what is unseen is already unfolding. When faith becomes your foundation, you no longer depend on chance. You live by law. To walk in faith is to become one with divine motion. It means every word you speak, every thought you hold, and every emotion you feel becomes a tool of creation. You no longer hope for alignment, you live in it. You no longer question the process, you embody it. The law of faith in action is not reserved for the spiritual elite. It belongs to anyone who dares to believe beyond sight. And when faith becomes movement, when belief becomes vibration, the universe itself bends to fulfill your decree. The universe is not a mystery to be solved. It is a mirror to be understood. It has no will of its own. It reflects the authority of your word, the harmony of your alignment, the truth of your readiness, and the power of your faith. From the moment you speak, you create. From the moment you align, you invite. From the moment you are ready, you receive. And from the moment you believe, you become. The universe does not delay, it obeys. It moves with precision, guided by the energy you send forth, responding to the vibration you hold within. Your life, your circumstances, your opportunities, all are echoes of your inner command. Every spoken word is a seed, every feeling a signal, every act of faith a bridge between the invisible and the visible. I am a are not a wish, but a sacred decree that tells the universe you have awakened to your divine role as co-creator. When you speak them with alignment and faith, the unseen world bends to your vibration. You were never meant to chase what is already yours. You were meant to remember your power, to trust your voice, to declare your truth, and to live as one with divine law. The invisible is not beyond reach. It is waiting for your readiness, your clarity, your conviction. The moment you stop asking and start declaring, the universe responds with obedience. For it is written not in words, but in vibration as within. So without to speak the language it obeys.